One thing I say to people, even those we train, I say to them that cybersecurity is one thing that once you know it, you can't unlearn it.
To go on holidays, there's some certain country this month does not.
I know. What I do happens to be what impacts my life and everybody else's lives. So there's no hope but
But what I find that don't actually was that.
Hello guys, my name is Mukhtar Lasisi. A lot of people call me DML, and that's because I have a doctorate in information systems. I've always been in tech, and my main work these days is focused on cybersecurity, securing data architecture for regulated environments, especially financial sector. I'm a cybersecurity consultant. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah, I want to say she keep it simple.
Yes, my lovely wife. I'll let her introduce herself. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Suliha Mukhtar Lasisi. I'm a cybersecurity consultant. I joined the IT
6 years
space.
is a long time.
Yeah, the IT space in 2018
Yes,
when we moved to
7
Canada.
years actually, not 6 years.
Yeah, 7 years.
7 years is a
Time
long
flies.
time.
I know.
Good job.
Yeah, I'm a cybersecurity consultant, and I'm the wife to this lovely
Yeah,
man
we
here.
work together most of the time. I take on projects, she takes on projects. We have consultants in the company as well, but most of the time we love to work together. She's not a newbie anymore. She has put
Yeah.
in so much in the last 7 years, and she doesn't do a good job of talking about achievements, and I try to make her do it. She doesn't do a good job of it. 7 years is a long time.
Yeah,
She's held lead roles, and even within the company, she leads our operations. So you have to talk about this accomplishments. You've worked on some major projects. You have to talk about it.
Okay, yeah, thank you for teaching my out for me. Yeah, so today's topic is when your dinner conversation sounds like a risk assessment. So,
for us, that's every day.
Yeah, we want to discuss how cybersecurity sneak into our everyday life, conversations, activities, everything that we do.
That everywhere, even before this video, we're analyzing where should we put the camera. We don't want to show everything. How much should we show? That happens every day.
Yeah.
One thing I say to people, even those we train, I say to them that cybersecurity is one thing that once you know it, you can't unlearn it. Because it just sticks there, and you're suspecting everybody and everything around you.
So it makes you paranoid.
Borderline.
Yeah, borderline paranoid.
Borderline is what I'm saying. And that's us. And it's worse when it's bad enough when one person in the family is doing it. It's worse when the two people controlling the family does the same thing.
Yeah.
And the kids are like, sometimes they're wondering, what's really going on? Why are we, sometimes it feels like it's too much. But hopefully it's not too much for them. This is every day for us, every conversation becoming a risk assessment, and you're asking all sorts of questions.
Okay, going back to risk assessment.
Yeah.
And this question says, how do we decide on natural things like, where to eat or what to eat or where should we go for an early day or how do we spend our time?
We're checking where to eat. We're checking fastest route to a place. Checking the weather because of where we live. We're checking the environment. I remember, in fact, this just reminds me of there's a day where our daughter wanted to go to a restaurant. I'm like, what can go wrong? Let's do it. And get so conscious as we got around there. I didn't know I was exactly what I was thinking was what my wife was thinking. Like, no, we can't eat here. We're just looking around, but kind of surveying even while we're driving. It's like, okay.
If this area can look like this, and
the restaurant, I don't even want to know what the next restaurant looks like. We can't eat here. We just told her, sorry, we drove about 40 minutes here, but we can't eat here.
Unfortunately,
we can't eat here. And then she wasn't happy about it, of course, because she saw it online. She really wanted to try the place. Like, no, we can't stay here. We can't. It's not just, it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel safe.
Yeah, I can't go into the details of what we saw. But I saw something. She saw the same thing. I was like, nah. We can't do this. Let's go.
We're not staying here. We can't eat here.
Risk assessment and everything. Like, it happens. Even things around, buying gadgets. We're looking at who's the manufacturer, which country is it manufactured from, what's the certifications or what certificates do they have, things like that.
Yeah, to go on holidays. There's some certain country this month does not.
I know. I would name a country here, but there are countries that
you hear on the
Yeah, but
media,
again,
but people have been going there. They say it's
like I say,
fun.
once you hear certain things, you
Yeah,
can't unhear them, and
yes,
that's me. I wouldn't risk it. And because we've watched too much, what's that? Banged Up Abroad, is that what it's called?
yeah.
Yeah, we
Most
watched
of our friends.
too much of that. Like
Mm-hmm.
a few years ago, we used to watch it a lot, and there's certain countries that you can't even just mention for holiday around. I don't want to hear it. And the kids were like, let's do it.
Yeah,
But
especially like some of our friends.
oh yeah, they've been to those
They've
places,
been
and
to those places, and
I
it's
just say
always
no.
fun. Oh, don't believe everything you see. Social media. Well,
No,
again,
I would risk it like that.
yeah, that
My
risk
risk
is
appetite is too low.
another question that we have here. This is a very hard one. How do we turn off, the cybersecurity mindset to
I didn't.
focus on life, yeah, after work?
It's interesting that we had that session this morning, and for me, there's no off button, and I think it's the same for you. If you want to
Mm-hmm.
say there's no off button because cybersecurity is life.
Yeah.
You okay? Now we're recording this with a device.
Mm-hmm.
It is connected to the internet.
Yeah.
Your phone is connected to
To
the
the
internet.
internet.
A thermostat is
It's
connected to
connected
the
to the
internet.
internet.
The
Yeah.
fridge is connected to the internet. The TV is connected to the internet. How can I turn off? I can't. There's no off button as far as I'm concerned. What I do happens to be
Influence
yeah
what we
happens
do.
to be what impacts my life and
Mm-hmm.
everybody else's lives. So there's no off button. My cybersecurity radar is always on. To the point when the kids they have to tell us if they need to download
Download the game,
anything.
yes.
They have to tell us first. We're asking them all sorts of questions, and they're like, "Okay, I can't download it, right?"
Yeah.
So yeah, at times we allow them, or after doing our due diligence, we let them download them now. But
Mm-hmm.
their devices are well protected.
Yeah.
Everything you can think of. So they can't just download anything. They can't just go to any website. They can't just do all these other things.
They try to do
Sometimes
it.
we just give them the leeway to and see what they can and cannot do.
Mm-hmm.
But then they know that we have logs. They don't know
Yeah.
how, but they know that we can check
Check
everything.
everything that they're watching.
And after like a week, I'm just like, okay, you did this. You
You did
spent
this.
this. You spent 2 hours watching this thing. Why?
Why?
What does this mean? So, I didn't mean to. I did my work too. But
Yeah,
you
but
you
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 spent 2 hours
you
on
did
this.
this. You played this game
Mm-hmm.
for 2 hours and you only touched your work for like
10 minutes,
10
15
minutes,
minutes.
30 minutes. Oh my goodness. So
Mm-hmm.
they know they can't mess about like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sometimes we allow them, but we let them know that we see you. We can check, we can see everything.
So the radar
It's always on.
is
It's
always
always
on.
on.
Yeah.
There's no
It's
off
always
button.
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not perfect. We're just trying to do the best. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's what being knowledgeable about something to do to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're ignorant about it, yes.
That's a different thing.
That's a
But
different
if you
thing. But
know it, you can't pretend you don't.
Yeah.
And yes, we're regular parents. We don't get me wrong. We're regular parents, but I can't pretend I don't know
The
because
risk.
I'm even trying
Mm-hmm.
to educate other parents
Mm-hmm.
to let them know that yes, the world we need to have a positive mindset, which I do, but we can't just pretend as if everything is okay because
Yeah.
everything is not.
Mm-hmm.
We have to do our best to reduce the risk as much as possible.
Just like the way we teach them, make sure you lock the door.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Personal safety.
Personal safety. You're going to play
Don't
in
let
the park.
anyone bully you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same thing.
It's the
Because
same thing. Yeah.
they did that. They sleep with this gadget at times. They go to school with it at times, right? Okay, we don't let our kids go to school with it. But you know what I mean. Kids do that. So if that becomes part of their everyday life, cybersecurity or at least cyber hygiene should be part of their everyday life. That's the way I live. So there's no hot button for me.
And the last one, what's the cybersecurity mindset? What has it taught us about trust, communication, and calm decision making?
It's pretty much everything we've been talking about. Yeah. Trust, but again, verify. People are reliable, but you can ask for help, but make sure you
do your due
do your
diligence.
due diligence.
Yeah.
So that's critical. And to have a backup plan. That plan can fail. Have a backup plan. I know it's not, they will say business don't have plan B go, but again, yes, that's risk. But like I mentioned earlier, my risk appetite is low now. And I know that there are risks, but if you have a plan that if this fails, you can jump on the next thing. And in security we call it defense in depth or layered security. I always have that. I wouldn't say always. I try to have that. This plan and then that one and then that one and then that one.
You're sounding like a robot now.
Okay. We're fun. Hands are fun.
Yeah, we are. I'm thinking of this question differently, right?
Okay.
In terms of trust.
Mm.
With the example you gave with the kids, that you know what, that times that we just let them be because we don't want to be an helicopter parent. Just like the way you allow them to do their thing,
Oh
so
yeah.
you can
Yeah.
come back to
Sometimes.
review what
Mhm.
they've done. And so I'm not thinking of it from the perspective of trust but verify.
Yeah, yeah. You just said like
Yeah.
with humans. So me saying that was like more like with humans.
Mhm.
I trust people in my inner circle that I trust.
Yeah.
So there are certain things that, especially when we're having discussions,
Mm.
and they say certain things like, hey,
Things,
"Do you
yeah.
know that this?" I'm like,
Yeah.
is that a fact or your opinion?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going on to check different sources to make sure. Again, that maybe that's not even just security.
Yeah.
I'm a researcher by nature.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why I have a PhD. So that tells me that you can't just trust one source of information. You have to check from different sources and then form your own view of it.
Your view of it,
So
yeah.
it's not just security. It's like
Yeah.
kind of combination of my life experience
Mm.
teaching me that.
And another point was communication.
Yeah,
We
and I
need
would say especially cybersecurity because with limited communication would lead you into a lot of trouble. So you can't assume
assume,
that
yes.
people know what
No.
you're saying or people know what you're thinking. You
Mm-hmm.
have to communicate explicitly.
Mm-hmm.
Very critical. That's a professional thing that even in daily life I've adopted. When people do things, you're like, okay, did they not understand me? Same even your employees are like,
Yeah.
did they not understand what I said? And I'm dealing with people a lot. I understand that you can say
Say
something
something,
and then
but
they
yeah, they
understand something
interpret
totally
something
different.
else. Yes.
And what you say doesn't matter. What they understand is what matters the most.
Yeah.
So you have to be very explicit.
I used to think that was just with kids and adults, they get you or they understand what you're trying to say. But what I find that is the daughter actually was that kid. That was that
You
kid.
say something,
Something,
two
but
2 days later they're like, oh, but this is what you said.
you
No,
said
that's not what
no.
I said. That's
Yeah.
what you heard.
So you might say something and they're interpreting it into something else, or they don't understand what you said, and to ask again that, oh, can you explain yourself again? They wouldn't,
Yeah.
right? So you have to make sure that what you're being communicated
How
is
do you
clear and you're both on the same page.
how do you do that? By asking, by
By asking, yeah.
re-emphasizing and then asking for their understanding of what you've said.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's interesting. We do that with kids, but we
Yeah.
assume that adults, again, they're
Yeah.
grown ups, like we say, they're grown ups, they're smarter. Yes, they're smart, doesn't mean they're not smart. And the interpretation of your words can be totally different.
Yeah.
So just make sure that you're as explicit as possible and you're asking for them to confirm their understanding of what you said.
And another thing is tailored communication. You understand things differently.
Oh yeah.
I saw there's an habit I started picking up, starting with kids again. Sometimes I just say a lot of things and said, "What did you say?" Or
They
they
probably
just
only heard
yeah,
one of
they
it.
only heard one of it, and I just just said that's one thing and go and figure out the rest, or especially if
You know,
it's
they come back to
something.
get
Yeah,
further
exactly. So
instructions.
that way you're not dumping a lot of information on them at once, and they can do that thing and then come back to ask what's the next thing to
And
do.
it's the same thing with adults. That's why when I'm having meetings with people, I try to keep it as short as possible. Because when meetings get too long,
Yeah.
there's so much you've said, and at the end
People's
of the day,
attention
they end up
span,
doing
yeah.
nothing. So give people a very specific instruction, let them act on it. But if you give them 3, 4, 5 things at the same time, they're confused.
Okay. Yeah, we're talking about it now. We're going on and on.
Okay.
And the last one is calm decision making, especially with me. I think I've learned that.
You have to be logical with
Yeah.
decision making. Very important. Analyze possibilities.
And not just rush.
Yeah. At times you have to make fast decision because fast decision and rush decision, they are two different
Yes, they're
things.
two different things. Yes.
Analyze the different angles and come to now I'll say this, the best decision based on the information available to you at the time.
At that time, yeah.
It doesn't make it it doesn't make it the best decision, right? So that's one thing I've learned. So when you delay decisions for too long, you can miss out on a lot of opportunities. But you have to look at the situation, look at the different angles, and based on the information you have, make the best decision at that time and move on with it. Just at the point you have to accept that, okay, whatever the consequence, I made the best decision
At that time, based on
and
the
the future
knowledge.
realities can change. And then you look back and you're like, okay, I shouldn't have made that decision. But based on the information you had at that time, you've made the decision. Because in this life, it's important to move fast, but don't make irrational decisions or rush decisions.
Yeah, that is the last thing for today.
Thank you for joining us today. If you like this and you enjoy this, you want to see more of this, like, subscribe, and share with friends and family. We are the Security Couple, and we'll come on here. I don't know how often. I would say weekly. We'll try to make it weekly to share our journey as cybersecurity couple, life, business, work, everything. And you would say a lot of us. You see a lot of us.
And so, if there's something you want us to discuss or questions you want us to address, you can just drop
it. So if you have something to say about this topic, what we discussed, put it in the comments. We'll try as much as possible to read and respond as fast as possible. And the areas you would like us to cover that in our lives, again, we won't go too private. I'll say that we're security people, but in our lives, anything relating to what this is about, let us know and we'll do our best to cover them.
We'll give it a name later.
We'll figure something out. Just like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye.